Sometimes say we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
Sometimes we talk about the civil rights movement as if it rolled in on the wheels of inevitability. These were improbable victories. And we have yet another bridge to cross in this American democracy. We have to make sure that black people can vote, that brown people can vote, that young people can vote, that women can vote. We've got to make sure that everybody has a voice in their democracy and that working people have access to the polls. Let's stand together, let's work together, let's vote together, let's pray together, let's hope together. Together we will win.
It is so striking to see how figures like Tucker Carlson and others on Fox are rooting for Putin.
Vladimir Putin does not want Belgium. He just wants to keep his western border secure. That's why he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. And that makes sense. Fox host unabashedly makes Putin's case. Imagine how we would feel if Mexico and Canada became satellites of China. Right-wing agitators spewing Russian propaganda into millions of American homes. Why do I care what's going on in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia? And I'm serious. Like, why do I care? Why? And why shouldn't I root for Russia, which I am?
Newsmax ran a cover story titled, Vlad the Great.
Russia, 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 Russia is bad.
Russia, Russia, Russia. Russia, if you're listening, I think in terms of leadership, he's getting an A. Certainly a respected leader. He's respected in his country. I think Putin's been a very strong leader for Russia. The truth is that he is strong and he's tough. Putin says very nice things about me. I think that's very nice. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
The visiting Republicans not only didn't pressure the Russian government about them monkey-wrenching our election, they also didn't really pressure them about anything else either.
So you're a Russian agent. I mean, let's not even engage in that because it's so outrageous. As I used to say when we were kids growing up in the United States, what's good for the lightly populated Russian colony of Ukraine is good for us.
It's his defense of Russia's threat against Ukraine, the Kremlin-backed channel now wants to highlight. Excellent performance.
You just see a sea of people.
The only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged.
Trump flags, Confederate flags, thin blue line flags, don't tread on me flags.
I will have lost to the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics.
Steal! Stop the steal!
Don't let the Democrats take you for granted. Don't let them destroy your families, your lives, and your future.
Patriot, move forward!
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
They had on body armor, two-way radios, gas masks, tactical gear. They were ready to go.
We've always seen some level of anger from the electorate.
But this year, it's getting extreme.
Whoever's in charge of this should be hung.
America, it's all on the line.
You won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Who's our president? Trump's our president! This is our chance to show them how serious we are!
He's against God, he's against guns. Biden's policies put America last.
Bust the door down!
You should go out and vote.
Every single in there is a traitor.
Former Vice President Joe Biden will win.
Wow! All the networks! Stop protecting tyrants!
If you count the legal votes, I easily win.
We have to forget about the law.
A dozen GOP senators plan to object.
They don't represent us. They need to pay the ultimate price for their crime.
You should want to have an accurate election.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, I know you don't. No, you don't.
Let's have trial by combat.
Stunning to hear the president make baseless claims from the White House.
Insurrection!
There are going to be a lot of angry Trump supporters who are getting more and more fired up by the day.
We're seeing protesters overcome the police.
It was like some medieval.
Never give up, we will never concede.
They beat police officers with Blue Lives Matter flags.
You don't concede when there's theft involved.
I remember guys chanting, like, kill him with his own gun.
My job today was just to count the votes, that's all.
You're like, oh, this is just a movie. It could never happen in real life. No, but then you're in the middle of it.
Overnight, we learned a U.S. Capitol Police officer has died.
All of us should do some soul searching about 5 dead Americans.
They were terrorists. They were trying to assassinate the vice president.
Thousands of Republicans are leaving the GOP.
They had Confederate flags in the U.S. Capitol.
Is it still the party of Trump or not?
Freedom! They tried to disrupt this country's democracy.
Donald J. Trump ain't going anywhere.
This is his party. And you know what? Y'all failed.
Do we have hope to see Donald Trump run again in 2024?
You do have hope. That I can tell you. You do have hope.
I want to be clear that when they look back on this moment 200 years from now, that there are those of us who stood up and they'll be able to say they defended the right to vote 1 year ago today. On my mother's dying bed at 92 years old, former sharecropper, her last words were, "Do not let them take our votes away from us." They had fought, she had fought and seen people harmed, beaten, trying to vote. Talk about inalienable rights. Voting is crucial. And I don't give a damn how you look at it. There are efforts to stop people from voting. That's not right. This is the United States of America. And I will fight until the death to make sure every citizen, whether they're Green Party, whether they're Freedom Party, whether they're Democrat, whether they're Republican, whoever has that right to vote. Because it is the essence of our democracy. I want to be clear that when they look back on this moment 200 years from now, that there are those of us who stood up and they'll be able to say they stood up and said, we will defend, they defended the right to vote. Because you know what the problem is? For so many people, their rights are pulled away from them, then they got to put in laws to get them back. Pulled away from them. What does that mean? They cannot progress rapidly. They cannot progress with the rest of society. And all they're trying to do is trying to control their own destiny.
Now, according to public reporting, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser first called Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy to ask for help at 1:34 p.m.
It looks now like the Capitol Police...
Yeah, Pete, let me break away from you a second because things are happening very quickly.
According to your written testimony, you were, quote, aware that demonstrators had breached the Capitol.
American democracy is under attack. There is precious little time to save it. Many still are not focused on the greatest risk: state houses. Corrupt politicians in state houses across the country are experimenting with ways to undermine democracy in a cynical quest for power. David Pepper, author of Laboratories of Autocracy, joins us to talk about this ongoing threat and about his book. David Pepper is a lawyer, writer, political activist, former elected official and adjunct professor. And he served as the chairman of the Ohio Democratic Party between 2015 and 2021. He has engaged in numerous fights and extensive litigation over voter suppression and election laws in the Buckeye State. This free online event will take place on Sunday, March 6th at 5 p.m. Pacific Time. To register, go to tinyurl.com/democracy-autocracy. That's tinyurl.com/democracy-autocracy. And I'll see you there.